Both teams have shouts at the potential all-star lineups that we were talking about.
Yeah, I think we can see some really, different bans here, although they are electing to get rid of the heroes that they may see as the most quote-unquote meta. These teams just have such a diverse and deep roster, so they can really run whatever and do it at a high level. We do see the Loki ban out there, as well as Emma trying to keep that Magneto. So Loki, obviously incredibly strong, banned the most in the first weekend. Probably going to be close here for a similar ban out in the second weekend. As we progress forward, we are going to see Torch getting locked out, and I agree with that. Holy, we've talked about that.
Absolutely. I think you're right. Storm banned second for 100 Thieves. Don't think we've seen much of that, or actually anymore. I think we saw it early days, but 100 Thieves, one of those teams that does prioritize that Storm ban. Envy locking up the Loki. And I think there's something interesting we talk about with teams that do well, Shib. The interesting part is that if you do well despite composition, sometimes you can get baited into playing off meta, quote unquote, right? Because if you do well and you're not learning, right, this is what we talk about, the teams that lose, they try to go back to the drawing board, figure something out. If you're winning, a lot of teams are just comfortable with winning, comfortable with the compositions they're playing, and sometimes you can get quote unquote baited into playing bad compositions, as that can happen 2 weeks into a meta, right? So we're still early days into a patch. We don't really know what is the best just yet, and teams are still figuring out at the current moment as a Wolverine Protect comes out for 100 Thieves on Burning T'Challa.
Yeah, I mean, you can get complacent is what I think you're going for there, where it's like you run a comp, you get a W, teams are evolving, and they're finding a composition that could beat the comp that you were winning with. So if you get complacent, it can definitely be a pain point, and they can exploit you as they find new ways to shake this up. They're going to get rid of that Punisher too. We're going to see the lock-in of Wolf. Wolf is terrifying for everybody on the front line there. The Vanguards, he's in my nightmares for sure with that Weapon X skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You're right on that, Mark. 100 Thieves. Been also a team on Krakoa to specifically play, I believe it was either Punisher Hela or Winter Soldier Hela on that map. So they love to play that sort of anti-dive composition. They have not forced towards that dive. So the matchup is going to be interesting because I think Envy loves to play Speedily on that Psylocke. By the way, Speedily, you freaking jerk, change your name back to Speedily. Stop being Speedery. What are we doing, man? Come on. We love your gameplay, but change your name back, please, for us casters, okay? We're too small brain.
I love it at this point, man. I'm locked into
No, don't stop. Don't encourage him. What are you doing?
At this point, it's my norm, brother. But one thing I got to call out here is this the first time we've seen Hela today. And I know we talked to Cal, and Cal's like, I still think Hela is better than Punisher. I cannot believe we just aren't seeing Hela out here like at all. So exciting to see that come back here. At least it was shown for the moment. Yet Delena looks like they are going to be locked in to Hela here off the rip. And here we go for the start of this fight.
Oh, it's gonna be an incredible matchup. Speed's out of spawn already with the Jeff, and like you said, I think it's a difference of opinion, right? We have dive enjoyers versus Hela enjoyers, right? In 100 Thieves, maybe one of those teams that love to play the Hela. The tough part with Hela is that you kind of need it's very hard to get rid of flyers, Psylocks. A lot of players who are good with their cooldowns because they'll take one shot from the Hela and then duck behind cover just to get healed. So we'll see if this Hela can work out for 100 Thieves, who's playing pretty much pure anti-dive.
Speedery trying to engage early there onto Delena on that off angle. Both taking the same thought, but with the Venom, this could be really impactful. Good escape there again, as the teams are just kind of buying each other, testing each other a little bit. Delena going to find Month early, though. Down goes a strat immediately for Envy. 100 Thieves up a number. That could be enough to hold this first point. A lot of teams will like to break this point. If you actually shoot at this glass center, you actually shatter this and then pull up that defensive position on both sides. Some teams, depending on what they've scrimmed, they like to do that early, especially if they're running flyers, but it looks like they do not want to do it yet as we start up this second fight, and down goes Cal.
I mean, Delena might have the most aura out of any Hela player. I think Cal is up there as well, but Delena to me has always felt like the best Hela behind the scenes. Cal, though, is going to match it. We get that classic matchup like you mentioned, Chib.
Oh, I love to see it. This is what we saw in the future on Midtown. We're going to get a look at it again here on Domination. TTK holding this height, just trying to build that all charge. You can see on the bottom right there, the sticks on the controller. Gotta love to see that change in visual as they just play very patiently. He is a very strong Magneto. Patient with those shots. You don't want to hold down that trigger. You want to click it when you can. And there's an immediate ult there. Dance the butterfly from Speedery. Cal drops out. Does avoid it. Speedery trying to make a play. Excuse me, that's Delena. And we do have a Bucky out here. Start with a Kraken impact. Been a while.
Yeah, been a while. Terra trying to find something, gets that resets as well. TTK over the top, slam dunk onto both Nero and Mont. Trying to just remove. That's one way to do it, Shib. Opening it up, and Delena's spacing has been beautiful so far. Speedily has felt awful. And this is the tough part about this round specifically. I think this is Hella's best map, or best round, and maybe Psylocke's worst, right? The spacing is so easy to do because the dashes, you can only get so close to the Hella. This map is so wide and so long range that Delena is always able to space perfectly, and I think this is the best we've seen him play so far. It's obviously an easier map to do it, but right now Speedily's having a hard time finding that dive, and that's why Window's over to the Doctor Strange now as well, and off that Venom.
Yeah, a lot of Hellas here are liking to hold on to that all until they're in trouble. It essentially resets HP bar, gets you in the sky with a fair amount. Delena and Cal just back and forth here, doing a little bit of the dance on Hella. We're going to see this initiation with the right click, getting driven back heavy. Now Envy starting to apply some pressure as Month is copied up, starting to use that dance as they press forward. We see Speedery take out Delena, and this is what Envy needs to get this point, as they're down almost 90% off the rip. And there goes another as Month takes out Vinny, and down goes TTK and SJP, as now we're going to start seeing some gain here from Envy, who are slightly up in alt, but that will change shortly as TTK and SJP are going to have it as well.
Yeah, I guess Vinny's going to stay on that thing to match, you know, Speedily on that Psylocke as Envy poke for ultimates. I mean, this is still anybody's game, even though 100 Thieves got up to 88%. These domination games go fast. Ultimates aboard from every single squad. Strategist ultimate's going to get popped. We'll see how the mid-fight turns out, as on 100 Thieves, they don't have the crystals, and they're missing that Loki.
Yeah, nothing used yet, just able to take that space back without anything major committed, but now Envy is going to have a fair amount, and there we go. We do see the dance floor begin. Out goes the butterfly and the goddess in the sky trying to make something happen, but no, on either side. Does Kalush? Nope, not able to land that either, as all of these are just being traded back and forth with no value. The time, ooh, good decision there from TTK, trying to wait till those crystals to the very last second, took height to hope. Delena onto Cal, and that's another pick for Delena. A mean eye goes out here for Window, but not able to collapse. Great cloak there to escape as they're still battling. Cracking it back up for Terra, trying to land again, but out goes another dance floor. These are being traded back and forth as nobody finds value. Window takes out Terra and does turn that back around in their favor for the side of Envy, who are still holding on to this point. Now it's 70%.
Yeah, that ultimate came in so clutch. They were on the brink of losing it to that Bucky ultimate. The crack at impact runs out. Now we have no ultimates available. Speedily coming back up on another dance of the butterflies. Delena on the back left, looking for Cal early, making sure he pressures out that Hella in the back line.
Yeah, and we are going to see a neutral here. Speedery does have that ultimate. It does go out. No major value as they all stack there with the dance floor. They are pushing forward now as SJP has ult out. TTK and Vinny very close. Delena very close. Harvey as well. It's going to be anyone's fighting this next. It's all about how long they can stall so Envy can get an ult advantage right back and try to tie things up. Points back on the side of 100 Thieves. Up in the sky we go with the goddess of death raining down. Goes Nero. Delena with a great shot there, weaving it, and there is an ult out for Window, who finds Harvey and SJP, and that is massive for Envy as they are evening the odds here, and there is a lockdown. Up we go with TTK. Gotta find value here, not able to. Terra drops Window, so back and forth here again, but it looks like this one might go to 100 Thieves. Loki, great positioning, great clones, and great crystals, but there they go as Kalush falls. It's all about, can the strats hold on, and I don't think they can for long. It is going to be going to 100 Thieves.
Now, this is absolutely the highest level of North American Marvel Rivals. Round number 1 goes in favor of 100 Thieves. That percentage they built up, you mentioned earlier, Shib, just ended up to be too much. I mean, they played almost perfectly, Team Envy did, right? They almost zoned out, but it is the smallest of margins that you can absolutely lose these fights. Unfortunately for Cal, not able to get any final hits. He's had a rough kind of go at it on the Hella, but it's difficult because I think Delena gets a little bit more sustained, right? Gets a little bit more help in terms of, you know, having the thing, getting that damage reduction, as well as Delena. Pretty much, it looks like his entire focus is just on Cal, right? It seems like everybody else on the side of 100 Thieves is focused on an actual team fight, as Delena making sure Cal is never comfortable, constantly pressuring him out, constantly using those daggers to make sure he's in a tough spot. And I think this upcoming round will be a little bit easier. I think Speedily should do a little bit better on this round. Terra, meanwhile, over to that Wolverine, is going to keep sticking with it off of the Bucky.
Yeah, it goes back to the conversation about what they wanted to decide to do for this fight. I mean, like you're saying, that focus on Cal could have very much been a strategy decided prior to this game, just shutting down somebody, having full focus, doing things like putting that damage reduction out from Vinny, as that has been major value here with the thing that we're seeing at this level of play. Obviously, you can get some value with clobbering, especially if they're stacking on strategy assaults. And there's a mean tackle. See ya later, as down goes Kaluj. Terra just flying in the sky like a bird, and there's the throw onto another great tackle off the rip, tries to escape, or tries to get a tackle but does not, and instead escapes. Terra just so terrifying, if you will, on this Wolverine.
Yeah, he absolutely is amazing. Speedily though on the backside, kind of making presence be known as he finds 3 off of the Dance of the Butterflies. That's why this man seen as the best Psylocke in North America. Hap definitely has a shout, but Speedily has that throne. He's gotten 5 in this fight alone with no Stratus ultimates in sight. Or rather, they did have Stratus ultimates. They were not there to counter them. Now Envy, just off of a fantastic ultimate from Speedily, set themselves up. And this was talking about Shiv. I think that Psylocke will do a lot better on this round, specifically when we enter the Warrior Falls. This character can kind of pop off here.
Yeah, there's a lot tighter. There's tighter rotations. You don't have to dash nearly as long to find like an escape route or natural cover. And I do agree with you. I think it's a great, you know, it goes to show you how certain heroes can perform better on various maps, and more of a difficulty there prior. But now definitely tighter windows as we press forward. Envy does have ult advantage and 30 on the ticker right now. Terra does have that last stand ready, potentially trying to tackle some off the map, just buying some time. And there is the last stand. Immediately down goes window. Ults are popped now, as we are going to see a battle back. Envy down 1 number. Ult advantage still in their favor, but you got to find something to even the odds here. Out goes the bubble, and we see the Meteor M. Will it get purchase onto the back line immediately on to Terra, but doesn't even get the pop of the passive there.
Yeah, doesn't even get that passive, like you mentioned. Now they come back in through with the Cloak of the Deck. Terra got Kaluji off the map again. Are you kidding me? And then Delena onto Nero. I mean, beautiful work from the side of 100 Thieves to cap this point back. Psylocke here can't contest the objective, but it's still doing damage. Also, portals here. Ayavagamoto, unfortunately, is going to miss. Speedily still gets Delena and also Harvey.
Yeah, Speeder can make a big play here. These picks are very valuable in this moment on the back line, while the front line's doing a ton of work, but SJP, nice spin there. Take out Speedery. Here comes Terra again. And I gotta stress, it is very difficult to get a ton of off maps when you do not have rocket jump. No more rocket jump, but still finding a few off maps there on Kaluj. That is just raw talent again on the point. Here comes the teleport in. 100 Thieves now owning it, but down 40%. Cal taking out Terra early is huge for them. We are no longer going to be seeing the Hela on either side.
Yeah, unfortunately, Hela sort of losing a ton of value as this map collapsed, and, you know, everything kind of closes in terms of sightlines. You have nowhere to go. Here comes a massive Meteor M, though, into this Luna Snow ultimate. Blow! No! Kluge, I thought he blocked it!
Oh, my goodness, and that is a calm situation. Nice push there again. TTK, an absolute demon, as you saw there, floating directly upward, giving them more time to burn that shield. And when that shield popped, just having that extra height, just due to the time of the meteor coming in, that additional distance means more time to pop the shield. So well done. He does a great job of that when he knows that it's going to be risky for him to throw that meteor. He takes more height so that it's longer, the distance is longer, more time to break shield, and it always seems to work out for him. That's like the 3rd one of those that I thought was being thrown at a shield that got a multitude of picks. Really well done again by TTK to find 3.
Yeah, that's why you have to go back and rewind and clip things so we can see exactly what happened. That shield broke probably last second, like you said. Now Cal coming in through, getting an elimination even through the Eternal Bond is huge.
Yeah, great focus, great shots there. Trying to retake here. They do have ult advantage again. It's all about Envy finding, oh my goodness, and out goes a mean ult there from Delena on 100 Thieves. Still not able to find any purchase. Once again, Envy up plenty of ult besides the last stand, which could be huge here from Terra. No, not able to make, oh, they do follow up on the side of Envy with 3, 4, and Envy now is going to be making their way to 99, and this is real Marvel Rivals right here. So back and forth in every fight.
80% no portal play available either for 100 Thieves, as they used it earlier. Also no ultimates, but TTK, he's done it before with the Meteor M. Can he do it again? Vinny as well has clobbering time available. Ultimates has to be played around for Team Envy. Window, does he want to set up a flank? Ayavagamoto, he does float early, so he's going to drop down last second, but it's a Meteor M coming up from TTK.
Yeah, he's at 96. The ult could come through prior, but not yet. Great ult there. Is it aggressive enough? Great bubble to follow up. Unfortunately, doesn't look like it got a ton of value, but at least forced out some cooldowns. Zelena going to take out Speedery early in the fight, and that is massive for 100 Thieves, who once again retook without the teleport. Up goes TTK. Can he get another? No, not able to do so. Great positioning. Good dive out there as we see a neutral. Everybody at this point is just stalling with the dance floors. Numbers should still be up for 100 Thieves, but here comes Cal back, trying to make some play with the final judgment. Delena takes out Cal. Out goes the butterfly. Does it get anything? Yes, to Terra onto Kaluge. SJP on the window. 100 Thieves is looking to close this down as down goes another, and it looks like they may get the job done. They do, and that is map 1 for 100 Thieves.
Wow. If that's map 1, I'm curious to see what happens in map number 2. Warrior Falls for 100 Thieves get the W. And Delena, Matt, I've heard us talking about speedily being the best Psylocke. Delena, definitely a very flexible player and can play that Psylocke to an incredibly high level. And you saw why last second, switching off of that, switching off of the Doctor Strange onto the Psylocke to match speedily and finding the crucial pickoff that changed it. Window, unfortunately, not able to set up a good Eye of Agamotto. 100 Thieves read it every single time, Shib. I mean, what do you do, I guess, when they just read it, when they look around trying to find that Strange who was floating above? Unfortunately for Window, was not able to connect. And really weird map there at the very end for Envy. I mean, it was so back and forth, but at the very, very last moment, Delena again came up clutch. Terra as well, MVP on that Wolverine.
Yeah, 23k damage there from Terra. Wolverine, such a force, saw a ton of impact. You got to show some love to TTK as we're looking at him here. Some mean ultimates there, finding a ton of value. Just seems so consistent there with that Meteor M. It's just always getting a pick, and then he seems to always follow up too and get a few after while the teams are trying to escape. So really well done again. You talk about some of the tough ults there for Strange. It's, you know, it's just experience. 100 Thieves really only had the mag bubble. This is a, you know, that was a mean ult right there. I'm not gonna lie, good pick off from Window, but the ones right at the end were definitely more difficult. Good focus and good understanding of what was coming, because that was a surprise ult, and it's still not able to get a ton of value with it. Speedery though, 11 finals, most in the game, really showcasing how good of a Psylocke that they can be. So well done, got to show some love there. 18-7.
Yeah, Speedily played very well, but unfortunately, it doesn't matter how well you play throughout the whole series. Okay, so yeah, you're right, Shib. That shield broke on the Doctor Strange. That's why I love this game, man. It's so awesome that you can just go back, like look at a clip, like this is what we're talking about. Like you can't, yeah, and that poop off the map too. You're right, that was beautiful, but you can't see everything in this game at the same time. You know, it's like there's 6 people against 6 people, right? In a 12-player lobby, everybody has their own very impactful abilities. It's a hero shooter, and it really is a hero shooter, right? Every character does so much damage, so much value. Terra, MVP on that Wolverine, did super well. But this is why you have to go back, you know, look at VODs, look at what happened. You know, earlier, I think in a different tournament, I was watching in the fight night, I was watching a Meteor M gonna hit a storm in the sky. And last second, you couldn't even see it. It was literally like a few frames. An Invisible Woman shield comes up to save the storm. I had to watch it back like a few times to figure out exactly what happens. And that's, you could agree with me probably, Shib, right? That's the beauty of Marvel Rivals, is that you can't catch everything live. You have to look at things back.
Yeah, it's almost like the more you play, the more you can just kind of get a sense for what's happening, obviously, right? If you're new to Rivals, you'd have no idea why that didn't connect. Similar to the story as to how I just assumed that it was a Strange break and why he was floating upwards, just because I played a ton of Vanguard, so I just know that's probably what happened. So I just think that this game just has so much nuance, so much skill expression, the millisecond windows like you're talking about. But these two teams really take advantage of those millisecond windows, and I can't wait to see more of them after this break. Welcome back, everyone, as that was what I was hoping to see from these two teams. A nail biter down to the wire, and I'm expecting the same thing going into map 2. What'd you think, my man?
Yeah, I think map 1 was a predecessor to what is to come. Map number 2, that will be even better. Not to you know, give it too much, you know, hope, I think, going into game number 2, but I think both Envy and 100 Thieves look good that game number 1. 100 Thieves specifically, I think they look even better at flexing towards the very end. We get to see like that hella, like you said, we didn't get to see that with any other series really, and that's the unique part of 100 Thieves. They're willing to play more hit scan oriented styles, and Terra, kind of that ultimate flex player and that jack of all trades sort of guy, has been an incredible player for 100 Thieves and definitely is a fan favorite for sure.
Yeah, I think that we saw a little bit of a, let's match each other check there, and Delena and Terra came out on top for sure. Although we saw some insane plays there by Speedery on the Psylocke, but yeah, I expect to see a little bit different bans potentially, as we do see the Emma double lock off the rip. Obviously, an incredibly strong Vanguard right now, and a super common ban, and Torch again, which I personally think is a great ban.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens when we go to Convoy. I feel like both teams just played it so well that, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of similar variations. And in the Sentinels Nemesis series, we saw we saw Sentinels ban out the Mantis, and then also Nemesis started copying that. So maybe Envy is willing to run that Human Torch. Or, no, Human Torch got banned. Sorry, I forgot about that. But we might see still some sort of Ultron gameplay alongside that Mantis potentially for Team Envy if they do want to run that Captain America dive. I think they prioritize that Venom instead of a Cap, even though Cap wasn't banned. But we'll see what Team Envy wants to do with this last ban, with these last protects.
Yeah, we saw Nero, I believe, last time on Ultron 30-1. It was definitely a dominant performance over there on the Ultron, but typically you run Ultron when you got another flyer next to you, because you just get a lot of value being able to dance with each other with that drone. Ultron, obviously a very fast flyer similar to Human Torch when you use that dash. So just a ton of movement, but I'm not sure that we'll see it now without it, but we'll find out very shortly. Kaluj, looks like Nero's going to be running that. Kaluj going to be on the Magneto once again. We do see potentially a very similar matchup, and now Window showing the thing. So we're going to be on Spider Islands, which I think we will likely see a very tight hold here for point one.
And I like the Iron Man switch up from Speedily. And you can see this is what we talked about earlier in the Sentinels when we talked to Nectar and Invest as well earlier. He said that you banned for the team you're playing against. And Team Envy, they play a ton of Human Torch. They play a ton of that Storm. I think Speedily is like the new age, sort of one of the best flyers in the game. Amazing as well was one of those guys. And against the side of Envy, they're just banning out that Storm to make sure they don't have that combo. And this is what we talk about, that when you get target banned, it almost creates opportunities elsewhere. And for Team Envy, the flexibility they have could enable them when we head to Spider Islands, as this map definitely is one of their best maps. So 100 Thieves, they're also incredibly strong on this map. We'll see how they react to these sort of bans, and they've obviously favored a lot more of that thing gameplay. Meanwhile, for Envy, gonna potentially see some of this Ultron without the Mantis, though.
I was curious to see if we were going to see 100 Thieves at the door, as it's been what they have been doing in the past, but for a moment there it looked like they weren't. But there they are again, like we have talked about. For those who may have missed it, they like to fight right at the door here. It guarantees 3 fights on point one, and no matter what, that's a fair amount of time off the clock, because you can teleport back with Strange. You're going to run triple Vanguard here, and look at the strategist just miles away and just playing very safe, trying to get some alt charge ready. But Ultron hyper aggro there from Nero to try to put some pressure back on them. They're going to have to do a little bit of a strat dance to keep each other healthy. And there comes the Thing, who does get an early clobbering time. Window gonna drop Terra early, and that is an insane alt speed, as we do see Delena get our res up Terra immediately. Maximum Pulse goes out, not able to find any purchase there, but Speedery going to be on the Iron Man here, which I love to see, with the Ultron drone. Window onto Harvey, Cal onto Terra, and Nero onto Delena, and they're dropping like flies, as we will see them teleport back for fight 2.
Man, that was exciting to see. Look at this. This is amazing. This is like the next Marvel movie we're probably going to see, is Ultron and Iron Man team up, just fly around the map, looking towards the spawn already, because they can see they're going for the teleporter. So early poke on that play, and also looking for backlines as they separate. Here comes that tag team, that duo of Ultron and Iron Man in the sky.
Yeah, out immediately with that Eternal Bond just to buy some time here for 100 Thieves. Speedery trying to have this off-angle play with this Ultron drone, like we're talking about. Kibble Hyper Aggro does get the eye out, but an immediate freeze after. Great work there. And there, Speedery! Oh my! Luge! Nero launching Qs for days, and down goes the entirety of 100 Thieves.
What happened to TTK and his Meteorem? It got stunned by something. See, this is another thing we're talking about. We gotta watch that back. Like, was that Window in the clobbering time probably that stunned them out of it?
It could have been the clobbering time. I believe if you time it perfectly with the Yancey Street, it actually cancels the upward jump if you have it perfect. So we'd have to go back and check that out, but there's a small chance that was the case, as it's happened once. To me, it's the only reason I know that, but I believe it was probably clobbering time if you watched it. Yeah, I'm curious about that for sure. And off the rip again, Window just trying to build that alt. The clobbering time, you're just going to try to hit as many as you can here with that punch. Delena onto Window, down goes one. Kalu's turning it back onto Terra, and that's going to be a nice trade there, but still, NV down 1. Terra down. We still have ult here. We have Strangling Prison for Vinny. No ults besides Cal, who does. Ooh, Cal actually over there on the Luna. Not feeling maybe as confident on the duelist after the last round, but you know, Luna essentially is a duelist now with that left click.
Yeah, I mean, just playing this triple strategist Nero as well. Been a very talented player on this Ultron, so could be the potential. Oh my goodness, there's that Meteor M we were waiting for.
Yeah, TTK is just unstoppable. Nero, though, onto Terra and TTK returning it right back. Ultron, that ultimate hyper aggro. Use it offensively and only turn defensively if you really need it, because it just does so much work and you can get it back so quick. Kaluj turning it right back into Harvey, and that's a nice trade back. Again, with a pick here, Delena onto Kaluj. So back and forth, trying to get the tackle. Potentially thinking about off point, but did have Bird, so didn't want to risk it. Smart play there by Speedery, who's now going to try to retake this height and keep the pressure on.
And Delena is one of the most evasive Hellas in the game. Gets grabbed, finally slammed into his own team's wall. They're still trying to win it with Speedily on that Wolverine on the front line with the Luna Snow dance floor.
Great freeze and great patience and understanding. Nobody waking that up, even though he was taking a fair amount of damage just because Luna was around. So there's no reason to try to do damage when you're inside of the dance floor. And the numbers are now evened up. We do see an ult here for 100 Thieves. Out goes SJP with the dance floor. Going to be matched right back by Month, who's going to take that copy. And it's going to be a stall for a moment, and it's anyone's fight here as Vinny has the strangling, but he's at 1 HP. Launches it very low. Surprised that pick didn't come through. Delena taking out window. Harvey onto Speedery. Terra onto Kaluj, and they are popping off here with 3 seconds on. They have to touch, and this is a very tricky position. And wow, 100 Thieves shutting it down on point 1. Can it be matched?
To me, this screams that Envy, well, first of all, like you said, 100 Thieves were just beautiful with this triple, and then switching over to the Hella and then playing in for another fight. It looked like it was going so well for Team Envy, but to me, this screams, I feel like Envy's slightly behind the meta, not necessarily because of the fact they're running the Ultron comp, but I feel like these days, at least what we saw in AMER, they were playing Ultron alongside the Mantis, alongside an Adam Warlock. Both of those characters are free to play, but because Loki went through, because Luna went through, I can see why they're prioritizing these heroes, because, you know, oh, Loki's so strong, oh, Luna Snow is so strong. But I feel like prioritizing the sort of enabling of that Iron Man, of your flyers, is pretty important. It's always hard though, because I mean, maybe you can't play the Mantis Atom alongside it. Maybe you need the sustain for your front line. So there's a lot of things you need to worry about, especially in the ban phase. But I feel like EMEA might be closer to solving this sort of meta at the current moment. We'll see how the defense comes out though for Team Envy. But I personally, I feel like they're lacking at least a little bit of damage boost in their composition, and it's because, you know, they've banned out the Storm. They don't have that 12% or 10% whenever the E is not activated. But regardless, now on this defense, they're going to be running triple strategist, triple Vanguard Shib against 100 Thieves, who are maybe prepared for it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to show some love. Delena, it just, what is it, 7? I saw 7, I believe, final hits there already, and with the max final hits on the side of 100 Thieves last time. Oh, that's a huge tackle out of the sky, getting some shots off while they were still flying. Incredible work there. Again, Delena with some strong shots. It was essentially like skeet shooting, finding somebody in the air. Really well done. Again, these tackles are massive here by Terra, and they're just following up so smoothly. 100 Thieves really learning this meta and figuring things out, and that's a pick there onto Cal. And this early fight is just heavily going to 100 Thieves, who look like it's nothing at this exact point.
Yeah, to me, I don't know. It just feels like this is a 100 Thieves tournament to lose right now, how they're playing. Envy, one of the best teams in the game, are being absolutely dismantled by 100 Thieves on the Streets phase, or on the first phase, not even the Streets phase of the map on Spider Islands. Gonna get a portal play, so they have another fight here. Speedily's now onto the Ultron on Nero, back over to that Luna Snow. So they're still figuring things out, Team Envy is at the moment, as they portal back in.
Yeah, and you still see 100 Thieves, like you're talking about, that damage boost there from Cloak. There's just always some sort of angle trying to get boost out, as we see the Terra Cloak coming right there, and it just affects a ton of people down this alleyway. So 100 Thieves really playing off that raw damage. Crystals go out early, and we do have a last stand, which I expect to be pretty scary right here. Tackle back into the team. There is going to be a dance floor to try to match it there by Envy. It is, they are holding on strong. Terra just able to get so much free space and tackle. Try to follow it up. Ooh, 2 ultimates there, and still no major takeout onto Terra, who's already 42 to another last stand. And that is tough to see. That kind of value and that kind of shutdown there from SJP on 100 Thieves is just it's a lot at this level of play.
And there's a lot indeed. Envy could hold. I mean, 2 minutes left. It's totally possible for 100 Thieves to potentially lose this. And as we say in the hero shooter scene, losable. I mean, 100 Thieves has lost on in a similar situation to this before. We'll see if they do it again.
Yeah, I mean, if any team can do it, it is Envy. Speedery make that 2 as Harvey and SJP go down, showing you how strong Ultra can be with the right focus, and then immediately just chunking to let him make that 3. Speedery, a demon here on the Ultron, showing that hey, they don't have to play Psylocke. Why not just go over to Ultron, just be the bot and just tear people up?
Yeah, Speedily, one of the best players in the game, mechanically gifted individual. Now 100 Thieves, both Vanguard ultimates still up and available. Coming up on the Stratus ultimates, don't have them necessarily just yet. Envy have theirs.
TTK immediately with Meteoram has been finding a non-stop value. The shields need to be weighted out. Ooh, I think clipped. Oh, strange.
Blocked by Window, yeah.
Didn't even see that. Really well done by Window. Honestly, didn't see him jump there. Try to find some more height to get away. And here comes the tackle back. The last stand could be huge. It is Cal on to Vinny. Cal now on the Wolverine. Up we go. Trying to take out Hella's ult, but still able to hold on a little bit as Delena trying to get the pick on to Ultron. The movement there so clean. Delena with great shots still. Ultimate's back. Actually in 100 Thieves' favor as Mutt is using the dance floor. Terra does have that last stand, and this is where it could come down to the wire. It's all about these next 2 ultimates here, played by 100 Thieves, and it could be matched by Speedery and Window. Eye of Agamotto goes out. Can they get any picks off it? Last stand to counter. Delena takes out Window. Down goes Cal. Is that going to be enough? Delena cleaning up Kalush. TTK on Speedery, and I think that's going to do it as 100 Thieves pushes through and makes their way to the grand final.
My goodness, 100 Thieves, what a strong team they have been throughout the tournament, throughout each match. They've made it look pretty clean. Envy, I think they've looked like the team that's had the toughest matchup for 100 Thieves so far, but in Group A, I mean, what a dominant performance from 100 Thieves so far. Everybody talked about this group being the group of death. Now they're in the grand finals of their group. To cement themselves as that #1 seed going into the playoffs would be massive for them. Obviously, every team is qualified already, so, it's not like it's the end of the world if you lose, but I'm sure, at least from an ego standpoint, everybody wants to win and make sure they're that top seed. So for Team Envy, I mean, they put up a good fight, but unfortunately, 100 Thieves, like you mentioned earlier, Delena just had absolutely insane on the Hella and has looked like the best Hella so far, not that we've seen many.
Yeah, which is surprising to me. I think Hella's still in a really good spot, but obviously the pros kind of elected to not always pick Hella, but Delena just consistent on the Hella there. 9 finals is huge. You saw Speedery with 7, Nero with 8 there as well, switching over to the Luna there. But it was so back and forth, but 100 Thieves just so consistent in these fights. And honestly, that last fight looked a little dicey. It was all about that last stand follow-up after the Strange ult, which got a few if they were able to clear it up, but Terra essentially countering it there, sweeping everyone away before they could find value and getting those picks, and it just turned from there on. It was just a steamroll, just kind of rolling them down the hill like a slinky.
Yeah, I mean, exactly like a slinky indeed. I mean, this team is so good at shaping, towards the meta, towards whatever they want to play. And right now, I mean, I just want to see, first of all, it's going to be incredibly exciting to see who wins this grand finals matchup, but I don't know. I want to see who wins in Group B, who gets that grand finals win, who gets the grand finals win in Group A, because, I mean, we're going to want to see that matchup for sure in the upcoming weeks. And as the meta progresses, I'm sure once we go to the grand finals and once we move over to the playoffs, we'll change patch. We'll go over to that Moon Knight and the Thor, and then also the Star-Lord changes will come through fully. That's going to be exciting to see if there's any potential changes there as well. But as of today, I mean, we had some amazing matches, Shib, and 100 Thieves, they definitely look like the strongest team today. I think that they are my favorites. I don't know about you, Shib. I mean, we'll see what happens on the other side of the bracket. I mean, Sentinels haven't had a chance to prove themselves, but I mean, what a matchup, and the MVP for SJP on 100 Thieves. The whole team really rallied around everybody very well.
Yeah, SJP 27k healing, most in by far, 57% accuracy. Honestly, 6k damage, still really strong on the damage front there. Just Luna in a great spot right now, plays really well into what he can do. So I'm with you here. 100 Thieves, whether the discussion is who's the favorite to win it, they sure looked like it today. I can tell you that much. Just absolutely clean, especially there on the assault. Almost got held. I thought Envy started finding their footing and started playing really well together. But as you saw in that last bit of the highlight, that ultimate there from Terra at the very end after that strange Eye of Agamotto was game winning.
Yeah, it was almost over for 100 Thieves on their attack, and they screwed it up before. I don't remember against which team. I think it might have been a FlyQuest game or somebody, but 100 Thieves, I think they got held on first point in Yggdrasil Path. They didn't do that again today. So this team, you mentioned how experience is a big thing, Ship, right? I think that experience definitely showed out today. I mean, 100 Thieves, a team that is a veteran at winning in this game in Marvel Rivals, took over after Sentinels did, and then obviously things have been changing constantly in North America. Now same thing in EMEA, but right now it's been a very fun matchup, and I think 100 Thieves look like a top team right now, if not the team to win it all.
Yeah, and we get the pleasure here coming up shortly, whenever ready, of speaking to the coach of 100 Thieves, iRemix. And I have a ton of questions from a coaching perspective about this whole new layout, so I cannot wait to get on the mic with him. And they just looked so confident, so strong out there, so he's clearly doing a good job.
He is. I don't know. Well, here he is. Here's Remix for the interview. What's up, former teammate of mine? Good to see you, boss. Good to see you. How you doing? Congrats on the win, dude.
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, oh, sorry, Shib. Yeah, you first. You got it.
No, yeah, I was just going to say, I got to ask, man, I feel like with the new banning system, coaches are super impactful. I know, there's a ton of different conversations of what the meta is and who you need to ban out. So can you give me your take on what it feels like as a coach? How hectic is it to decide that kind of stuff in the moment?
Yeah, it's pretty in-depth in this game. Mainly, I go team by team. So depending on the team I'm playing, I try to scout, see what they're good at, and I try to find... I make sure that my players know everything they need to know. If this happens, if they ban this, we're doing this. If this happened, this, And then basically, MB, I know they play around speed release flyers. So I just know that if we take that out of the way, is the team it's easier to beat them with that. So I mean, at the end of it, versus every team, I just try to find a solution for them.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah,
it clearly works.
Yeah, your brain is huge. I just want to real quick. Let me sip my tea real quick here. Remix. Speaking of Team Envy, you used to play for them. What happened there? Now you're the coach of 100 Thieves. What's going on?
I mean, things happen. Maybe teammates don't work well together, and I guess I was the one that was to blame for that, and I decided to to be honest, to be completely honest, I went into a coaching role because I wanted to play it against MB, and I couldn't find a team to play against it. I was like, if I join this team, I think I can make them good enough where they can beat MB. I think I have a lot of experience where they'll be able to beat them. And here we are.
Oh yeah, here we are. Yeah,
they've been gassing you up as a coach for a while, and clearly you know what you're doing, man. And the team looked great out there. It's obviously big competition, and you guys took that home, heading over to the grand finals, and you have the chance of either going back up against Envy or Fly. I know Fly is not afraid to do a little bit of obscure stuff, and we've been seeing a little more dive comp coming out of the win. I want your take, just out of curiosity, of this new cap dive Psylocke with maybe Torch. Do you think that's the new meta? Because I see you guys sticking to more traditional compositions.
To be honest, the meta depends on the bans. A lot of things happen depending on the bans, but every team has their own way of playing, right? So some things like playing dive and stuff, but I'm not gonna reveal too much of what my teams like to do, but I'll always, if I'm going into a dive team, I'll always find a solution and something that works for my team, the team that I'm currently on, so they can have an easier time. Depends on their hero pool, the bans, what do they play, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Yeah, it makes sense to me.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely, Rubix. You can tell you think a lot about the game. I know you don't get enough credit in general, so it's cool to see that you're, thriving in this head coach position. And speaking of that, I mean, is there any other coaches that you could tell that? I mean, it's tough to tell, but behind the scenes, what's exactly happening. But what can you give credit to any team specifically in terms of how they play the ban and protect phase? Is there any team that you think is always a hard chess match for you and your team at 100 Thieves?
I would say probably BP is one of those teams that always have good bang and good understanding of the meta. And I don't know much about other coaches, but for me, coaches that I would shout out are not in this game. It's coaches that I had in the previous past, when I was a player in Gladiators and stuff. Like those were good coaches to me. I haven't had good experience with coaches in this game yet, but I'd say like BP and maybe FlyQuest, they do some unique stuff. They always have like, it seems like they give you a comp and they try to like do the draft to brainwash you into playing something that they have the counter to it. I think that is like the strongest thing about a good coach, like knowing, manipulating the draft to make them play a comp and then countering with it. And yeah, we did a little bit of that today. We manipulated the draft to make them play Wolf, and then we just have a counter to it, and they're just getting brainwashed. But yeah.
No, it's genius. I mean, it's such a mental game, right? Like, it really is a chess match, especially as a coach. And that's why I think this new way of handling bans and maps it involves the coach so much more, and it gets really crazy. But one thing I needed to ask, just because I'm happy we were able to talk to Coach, we see a lot more Cloak due to the damage buff and how fast Cloak can get ultimate. You guys clearly electing to run that today, Harvey, on the Cloak a ton. Do you think the most valuable part of Cloak is that blind with damage boost? Because we've seen a lot more damage boost coming out of the win.
Yeah, I mean, Cloak is almost as strong as Luna. They're both really strong characters. It's just coming down to the team that I'm playing against. We have to pick our poison. Do we want to play against these flying characters? Like, maybe Luna is slightly better, but like those flying characters are really strong given their team, right? So I'd rather take that out of the way and then play they might have better supports, but we might have better DPS. Like, you got to pick your poison in this game given the team that you're playing against.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Remix, it's obviously awesome to have you. I hope we get to bring you back on more for more interviews. It's always awesome talking to you. And I mean, even like your path to pro before you became the head coach of 100 Thieves, you know, playing on that generator back in Puerto Rico, as you call it, Captain Puerto Rico. Yeah, you played on the tryouts for professional teams and other hero shooters. Now to come over here and be a head coach, it's awesome to see you. So, you know, Remix, any shout outs, any last thing you want to say before we let you move on and get ready and get some sleep for tomorrow?
I mean, shout out to every single one of my players. Shout out to 100 Thieves and for giving me this opportunity. To the players, I mean, they're the ones that did all the work. I'm just like, I'm trying to help them, push them forward so they do what needs to be done, but they're the ones executing everything.
Awesome, man.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure talking to a coach. You obviously did a great job out there, so big shouts, and we look forward to talking to you again. Thanks for your time, man.
Thank you.